I'm Connor Northup, and I'm joined by UFC middleweight Ian Heinisch, who takes on Gerald Mearshart at UFC 250 on June 6th. How you doing, Ian?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, good. And thanks for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where are you currently right now?
I'm at my house in my office.
Okay, and now, like, where is that? Like, are you in the States currently?
Yeah. So I'm in Denver, Colorado right now. Getting ready to move to Thailand after this fight, and we're supposed to be there now, but with all the craziness in the world, we had to delay it a little bit. But yeah, I'm at home in my hometown in Denver.
Yeah. What is that like, too, having to kind of, I mean, obviously it's out of your control, but having to, kind of postpone those plans?
I mean, yeah, it's life throws curveballs at you, man, and you just got to kind of roll with it. I'm no stranger to adversity, and I just trust the process and what God has for me, and I've been just trying to really just focus on getting locked in with the right people, getting the right training I need, and getting the right fight, and it's all seemed to work out.
Yeah. Have you been able to like what's your training schedule been like throughout this whole thing?
So when I first came back, I just left my team and moving to Thailand, and so it was a little tough. I had to find kind of essentially just I started hitting up old teammates and just kind of seeing out who's out there training, and I started meeting people at parks, sparring at parks. I started doing prison workouts again, doing a lot of things on my own, just getting a routine, and then eventually found a good group of guys, a few coaches that were willing to take me on at this time, and we got a good routine going and a good schedule, and it all worked out.
Yeah, and like you said, like you had to go like the kind of like back to like the prison workouts and stuff like that. I mean, did you ever think you would do any of that stuff? Once in the UFC, like you'd have to do that.
You never know, man. Anytime you're locked in somewhere, you can always make it happen. You can either go crazy and get in your head, or you can just focus on what you can control, and that's keeping your body, mind, and spirit in shape.
Yeah. And last night I was actually reading the thing you wrote about on the Players Tribune, and you talked a lot about like just training like while you were in prison, things like that. I mean, so did this kind of like when this kind of all happened, I mean, did you have like a lot of worry about your training schedule, or was it kind of like, well, I've done something like similar to this?
Yeah, I mean, you can always train on your own. You can stay in pretty decent shape. You can shadow box, hit the bag, hit pads. But at the same time, you need that partner. You need that big, strong partner to grapple with, to wrestle with. Especially for me, I'm trying to get back to my basics of more wrestling and just being who I am. And yeah, I was concerned a little bit. I did, and exactly what I said before. I used what I could control, and I tried to stay in best shape as I could, hit my runs and stuff like that. But yeah, I was concerned. I needed a partner, I needed a coach, and I needed mats. So I did what I could when I didn't have that, but then I found it, so I'm good now.
Yeah, and like you said, you can't quite train in Thailand yet. But what kind of led to that move? Like why do you want to go there?
For me, it's just I'm a nomad, man, and I kind of got to the point where I almost settled down. I got a wife now, and we bought a house, and I started like settling down, and I just realized like I'm not ready for that, and I just want to be near the beach and the ocean. It's really calling me, and I just felt God was calling me out to Thailand, and He has some amazing things in store out there. I linked up with the gym at Tiger Muay Thai. I love the trainers. I love the training, all the different partners, all the Russians out there, just all the mix of all the international nationalities coming together and training. And I fell in love with it, man. It's cheap, it's beautiful, and the training was outstanding. So I was ready to switch things up.
Yeah. And now this also too, coming up will be, I think, the first fight of a 4-fight deal for you. So coming after 2 losses, how much does this feel like kind of like a clean slate that, you're planning on going to a new gym, you have 4 more fights here?
Yeah, shout out to my management, Iridium Sports, and Jason House, and getting me a new 4-fight contract, and Mick Maynard really working with me. I got in the UFC. I fought ranked guys basically since the day one, and been fighting a lot of tough fights, man. I didn't have a building process. I got thrown in with the mix, and I love it, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. I take the short notice fights. I fight tough guys. I don't turn fights down. And to get a new 4-fight contract, get paid for like a ranked fighter is amazing. And I'm so grateful for the UFC. And yeah, obviously it sucks coming off 2 really close decision losses. And now, man, I'm just getting back to basics. I'm finding my why, that I just love to do this. And I'm not so focused on the win right now. I'm just focused on performing, and I know the win will come behind that.
Yeah. Like you said too, both those fights were kind of close decisions, and they were against pretty seasoned guys too. So being that, I mean, were you surprised that you got an extension?
What do you mean an extension?
Well, not even an extension, but just like a 4-fight deal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was super grateful for that. I feel like I've put in work, and I beat some really tough guys. I feel like every guy I fought in the UFC has had over 10 fights in the UFC, 15. So they're all vets. And I was just a new kid coming in there and taking these fights. And so I was super grateful that I got a 4-fight contract, a new one, and got a pay bump and all that. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful for that. And I'm excited to show, all the new improvements I've made.
Yeah, and just with this upcoming fight too. I mean, how do you feel like you stack up with Gerald Meerschaert?
I feel like I stack up good, and again, he's another seasoned vet. He's almost got 50 fights, and he's kind of a jiu-jitsu guy, but he also has decent striking. I just feel I match up really well with him, and I don't want to give too much of the game plan, but I feel like there's going to be some things I'm going to show him that he can't handle in there, and I'm going to end up getting my hand raised, getting a big win, and really performing, because that's my main goal.
Yeah. And obviously there's like some rumors of like where the fight might take place, but right now there is no, like you said, to be decided. What is this experience like for you too? Because, we talked about like how you kind of had to train and work with what you have, but like, what's it like kind of knowing who you're fighting, but like not necessarily where? Like, does the location matter a lot to you?
Not really. No, not at all. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Vegas, but if they were all of a sudden like, hey, you're fighting in Mexico City, that might concern me a little bit, especially what we're like 3.5 weeks out, because I would want to get out there early, acclimate. But as far as just being Vegas or Florida, somewhere at sea level, it doesn't really matter to me. The cage is going to look the same. There's still going to be no fans, probably, and I'm just going to go out there and perform no matter where it goes. I'm just going to put my head down, and through all the controversy in life right now and just switching gyms and all that, I'm just going to put my head down, perform, make myself proud, and hopefully make all the fans entertained.
Yeah. Have you been able to talk to anybody that have been on any of these Jacksonville cards, or kind of like just like what the vibe is there and like the situation?
Yeah. Actually, spoke to Drew Dober today, and coming off that big win, and he just said, yeah, it's just for me, I feel like I'm prepared for it through Contender Series. Contender Series is a similar vibe. You're walking into a stadium smaller than usual with little to no crowd. And so I've been there before. It's kind of like a sparring round, but you got to go in there and perform. The bosses are right there cage side. So, that puts the eyes on you, and you got to go out there and just perform.
Yeah. Is there any, like you say, it could be in Vegas, so I mean, if they do that, it would be at the Apex. Is there any excitement to compete at a place like the Apex? Because I know when you were on the Contender Series, that wasn't built yet.
Yeah, it would be cool, man. I'd love to check out all the facilities. The UFC, the PI is so cool, and to go just be able to compete at the Apex without being on Contender Series again, that's going to be great. It's cool to see these state-of-the-art facilities that Dana White's building. I'm excited to see Fight Island, honestly, but for now, I'll fight at the Apex, and hopefully next time when I'm living in Thailand, I'll get to go to the Fight Island.
Yeah, and I know the Fight Island, they said it's kind of going to be like not very it's going to be like a kind of a temporary thing too. So, I mean, would you be willing to kind of make a quick turnaround, barring, no injuries?
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm healthy and I got good training, and I love to stay active. This year has been very inactive because of all the craziness. I'm supposed to actually be fighting today. I was originally signed to fight today in San Diego. So, yeah. And if I'm healthy, which God willing, I will be, and I would love to get a quick turnaround.
Yeah. And one of my last questions too is just, you just brought it up too, of how you're supposed to kind of fight today, and you hear a lot of guys who are on these cards saying that, there was a little impact with, when they would normally have like an 8 fight week camp, now they're having, 12, 14-week fight camps. Has that impacted you in any way?
Fortunately, no. I can totally see where these guys are coming from, though. Like, if you're meant to fight in 8 weeks, and then all of a sudden, like, I feel bad kind of for Tyrone Woodley, because we actually started our camps together in Thailand in like January or February, early February. I was out there, he was out there. We trained a little bit, and he was supposed to fight on that UFC London. Then that got pushed back, and now he's fighting sometime this month or next month, and that got pushed back again. So, I mean, he's gone like a 3-month camp. So it's hard to have to bring it down and then ramp it back up, because you want to peak at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it hasn't been too bad. It's actually worked out perfect, because I was supposed to fight today, but obviously flying back from Thailand and just trying to assemble a team and coaches, that took about 3 weeks. So it kind of delayed me back a little bit. And then now I'm getting a perfect 8-week camp just on course. So I'm going to peak at the right time.
Yeah. And just one more thing too, like in your time in Thailand, how far do you feel like you came in that short amount of time training there?
Yeah, I feel like I made a bunch of huge leaps in my technique, just getting back to basics, getting in a wrestling room where there's 60 guys and half of them are from Dakistan, and the wrestling is just A caliber, and just grinding with these guys, and just having a boxing coach, and the coaches out here, Jacob Ramos and Peter Straub, they've helped me so much just with like my boxing and just tightening things up, not really learning too many big things, but just polishing up all the basics, just really getting back to basics. And, my foundation at Factory X, it got me really far, and they're a great gym, but it's good to just have different eyes on you, different looks, different training partners. And I feel like that's what I need. I need some chaos in my life, mixing things up, not so just routine based in my life. And I feel you're going to see a new Hurricane on June 6th.
Yeah. I mean, and gym aside too, just does the change of scenery like help too, just like living somewhere else, living somewhere new?
Oh, absolutely. Like, man, driving in your car, all we do in Denver, traffic, driving here, then you got to go to your strength conditioning, you're eating in your car. Like, it just got so mundane. You come home, you take a nap, then you drive another half hour back to the gym. I mean, it just wears on you, man. It burns you out. And over in Thailand, you're just on a moped, no shirt. You literally drive 5 minutes down the street. You're at the gym. You hang out there for a while. On the weekends, you get to go to the beach and snorkel. I mean, it's like I'm on vacation, but I'm training. But on the day off that I do have, I get to go get that reset that I need. I usually go to Mexico 4 or 5 times a year. I don't need to do that out there because I'm there, but I just use my time off to really take advantage of that reset of clearing my mind, going to nature, and connecting with God, and be able to come back to the gym fired up, pumped, ready to learn and ready to go.
Yeah, awesome. And anything before I let you go?
No, just tune in, UFC 250, June 6th. Get ready to see, just a new and improved Hurricane. Really a lot up here mentally has changed, and just getting back to the basics, just polishing up on a lot of things. And, just a shout out to all my sponsors and just my management, Jason House at Iridium Sports, and my wife, it's her birthday today. So big shout out to her, Joni Quam. So yeah, I'm glad I remembered to throw that in there, and appreciate you, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, well, happy birthday to your wife, and I wish you the best for your fight.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Take care, Ian. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.